Morning YouTube, how you doing? And Mike in Detroit here once again, working on piano voicings. I wanted to put a little caution at the beginning of this video. I think we're on number 4, I think. 4, maybe 5. I lost track. Whatever number we're on, make sure you don't skip around and try to find the hippest voicings. This little series builds your chord voicing skills up step by step. So, step 1, just by way of review, is to know all your triads. Here's F, know them like B flat, here's E flat, and so on and so forth. So I just played all 12 major triads in root position. You should also know them in first inversion. You should be able to play any one of them in whatever inversion you want. Then we went to major 7 chords. I also told you that you should be well aware of all 12 of your major scales. Because that'll help you get your number system together. So those are things we covered in the previous videos. We also went to left-hand voicings in case we wanted to improvise or play melody in the right hand. From there, we switched some notes and we worked on guide tones. So we went to here for C major 7 or here. We know that here's the 3rd, here's the 7th. So we covered a little bit of ground, but it's certainly foundational ground for what's coming up. Knowing these things well helps you later when you get to more advanced voicings. There's a C minor. Etc. So I won't go all through that again. I'm just encouraging you, if any of that you don't have down, just go back to the previous videos and, put your practice time in there. Today, I want to talk about something that will kind of catapult you a little bit, if you don't know it already. And that is this voicing here. Or this. So what I am playing is an E minor triad over C. And you say, well, that's a C major 7. I just moved the root out of my left hand and out of my right hand and put it in my left hand. And you'll be absolutely right. You'll be absolutely right. So I want you to get that concept that a major 7 chord without the root is the 3 minor chord. It's what I call a flipped rule. So the chord is major, but my right hand is thinking minor. This opens up the door to what I call upper structure triads. And there are several of them. I actually made a couple of videos on it a while back, but I'll cover it here as well. What's this chord? Looks like like E flat. Well, let's take a look at it in its block chord configuration. It's a C minor triad. You take the root away, you have an E flat triad over C. Here's the flip it rule. The chord's thinking minor, but my right hand's thinking major. Okay? Now, let's work that concept around the circle of force. So here would be an F chord. Now once you know that it's A minor over F, any A minor will do. This one will do, that one will do. These are all F major 7 chords. But it's really A minor over an F bass. So what do we care? Why do we care about that? Because every now and then we don't need to play the bass. Bass player's got it or track has got it. So I see on the lead sheet C major, but I don't want to play I want to play that rootless, let's say. So I am thinking E minor over C. Maybe the bass player's playing that, or a track is playing that. So why is that important? Because I can play that in either hand. I can play that in my right hand, I can play that in my left hand. I'm kind of partial to second inversion chords. I think they just fit a lot of situations. But I'm thinking E minor, some kind of E minor, maybe this, over C bass. Sometimes I have to play both. Now when you start talking rootless voicings, you want to get them in what I call the piano sweet spot, chord spot, right? You want to arrange your inversions so that probably this F sharp or maybe this G you can get away with, all the way down to maybe this B flat. You want to be in that area that you can play any chords you want, especially if you're playing it. Now, of course, there are exceptions, you know, when you go up here and do what I call candy stuff. But for the most part, when you're comping or whatever, so let's say you're playing a C chord, right? The bass player lays this down. And what do? You play maybe this, or maybe this. Do we have our guide tones there? Certainly we do. We have a fifth, 7, and a third. So here's our guide tones. We just added the fifth. E likes to go to A. A likes to go to D. That's actually D9, so we'll get to that later. You could see how these rootless voicings come in handy when you're comping away. So let's figure out something. So let's take the root 7. That's a shell voicing. And let's add an E minor on top of that. Now you notice we have the fifth twice, so we don't have to do that to play that, which I think we did in the last video, but if you want to add more body to it, you can add a fifth here or 2 if you want. Nice voicing. Shell voicing in the left hand, upper structure triad in the right hand, in any inversion you want. Let's just do it in root position. Now what would that look like in F? So we have a shell. Now I have a lot going on low here. So this chord is in the good sweet spot of the chord, so perfectly fine. But so is that. So I told you I'm partial to second inversion chords. I just like the way they sound. But any of them work. Any of them are correct. So I am thinking now D minor over B flat. Now in this case, this thumb could have taken care of that, or this thumb could have taken care of that. Could have added a fifth there. Your choice. Let your ear be your guide. How about E flat? That's a G minor. G minor over E flat. 3 minor over 1. Now I'm playing the bass, but assume that you can play this in either hand. Now you say, well, I can improvise away on the E flat scale. Would that be an A flat? That's C minor. Or C minor over A flat. Take that all the way around the circle of force. Now what you want to watch out for is your chord, your triad here, in the sweet spot. Somewhere in this area of the keyboard, and it certainly is. So take that all the way around, what would it be in D flat? Well, that would be some kind of F minor chord. That's a nice one. That clearly sits in a sweet spot. So take that concept to all 12 keys. Now let's take it one step further. What if I did a E minor 7 over C? Oh my, I'm getting into some nice stuff now. Because I have introduced one of the sweetest notes in music, and that is the ninth. Second and ninth are the same thing. So this time, instead of playing E minor, I'm playing an E minor 7 over C. 3 minor 7 over C. I can play that with either hand and in any inversion. Now, I made a video a few weeks ago, it's called Play 2 5 1s in Every Key. This is where these voicings come in handy. So bass players got this, you got this, and your right hand can play in the key of C. What would that be in the key of F? That's A minor 7. Oh, just like, as soon as you add that ninth, you get that oozy, lush feeling. What would that be in B flat? E flat. I'm playing, my right hand is thinking 3 minor 7 over 1 bass. Now I'm playing the 3 minor 7 in root position, but you could tell that note to your ear might be a little high, to my ear as well. No problem. So I'm on, I could just play it like this. I mean like this, sorry. I gotta catch up with where I was here. So just think, minor 7 over a root bass introduces the ninth into the game, and that ninth is just delicious. So I don't know. Let's take the key. So here's the key of C. That's an E minor 7. analyze that, those voices would be flat 7, 9, flat 3, and 5. Or this. Flat 3, 5, flat 7, and that's an E flat chord in root position. Or this one. So we're thinking like polychords. We're dividing our thinking up between the hands. I'm thinking E flat here and C down here. So if I wanted to put those notes together, that's an E minor. Remember, there's the shell, there's the third, right? Over C. And I added a shell voicing here. Now I'm not duplicating anything. That's also a nice voicing. Capture that. Root 7 in the left hand, shell, E minor in the right hand. If you wanted to make that minor, these two notes here have to go here. So work that around the keys as well. Here's major. So really, I have an E minor 7 without the fifth. Fifth is in my left hand, so and I could play it. It doesn't hurt anything. If it's easier for you to just think E minor 7 over shell, that's fine. It doesn't hurt anything. Now watch that ninth, that E, that C. Let's do that in F. Beautiful. It's A minor. So when you voice chords in your left hand, this is where you have to be careful. I didn't particularly like that sound, so I'm going to take that E away and put it in my right hand. I like that much better. But let your ear be the guide. You know? The point today is we're moving toward rootless voicings, or if you are playing, if you're playing the bass, you just use your right hand to do it. So here's an F, here's an F minor. So I have choices. It's almost like I have 3 or 4 hands. And because I have a pedal, I can go. That frees up my right hand to play, I'm on an F minor. That's the 2 chord in E flat. So I can. Escaping me, so let me retrieve it. So what you want to do is find a voicing that you like and take that around the circle. What that is A flat major over F bass, or rootless. What would that be in D flat? Well, that would be D flat major over a B flat bass. And you say, well, that's outside the sweet spot. Yes, it is. So you just play it this way. Now it's right in the sweet spot. Get the idea? So first work on triads. Now at that 9th. Once people hear that 9th, they said, I never want to play triads again. But triads have their place. So make sure you take these voicings through all 12 keys, major, minor, and if you're really ambitious, take them to major, minor 7 flat 5, augmented, and diminished chords. If you know your number system, then you can do it. Now, I can mention something about voicing, especially where the melody lies. Let's take a note at random. And I'm probably digressing a little bit, so you can skip this part if you just go practice what I just told you earlier. Let's take the note F. Now, what chord could we play with F? Well, we can play an F chord, obviously. We can play an F minor. We can play G flat. See that F still on the top? We can play G minor. S still on top. We can play E flat major 9. F still on top. Sometimes when we get to certain chords, we're going to get a little funky, like we're going to have a dominant chord like flat 5 or just whatever. Let's play a D flat chord. F still sitting there on the top. We can play a D minor. Let's just walk up the bass chromatically and see what we come up with. We can play E flat. We can play this. Now that's funky. That's an E7 with I think a flat 9. Yeah, that's an E7 flat 9. We can play F. Obviously, we can play G flat major. We can play G minor. Now we can play A flat sus. All of this over the melody note F. We can play A. What would that be? A. That's like a A sharp 5 chord. We certainly can play any kind of B flat chord like B flat or B flat 7. We can play some kind of B chord. That's like a sus chord. And then we can play a C sus chord. That's kind of an intellectual exercise. You can discover some sounds that way. Pick another note. Let's pick G. Well, if I was on C, what can I play? I could play a C chord. G's on top. I can play a D minor 11 chord, which is lush. Chord. We can play an E7 sharp 5 sharp 9. I can see how I'm leaving that G on the top. It's a good exercise to it's a little bit advanced, but I think if you made it this far, you can probably figure out what I'm doing here. You can play an A minor 9, an F minor 9. We do on G flat. Let's go here. And we haven't even touched the diminished chord. I'm going to get to that maybe in the next video or a couple of videos from now. If we're playing a G over G, obviously we can play a G chord or G minor. Play an A flat major or A flat minor. Well, over G, maybe not an A flat minor. We can play an A flat minor major chord. I haven't even talked about those. We can play an A minor 7. We can play an A major 7. We can play a B flat. That would be the 1, 2, 3. 6th or 13th. B chord's gonna be a little tough. That's gonna sound a little funky, and then we're back to C again. It's a good exercise to just explore. It's a good warm-up exercise. Explore some sounds, pick a note, and find some chord voicings. Just walk up the chromatic scale on your bass hand. Let's see what you come up with. All right, happy practicing. This is Mike in Detroit. Any questions at all, throw them in the comments, or comments at all, throw them in the comments. You see how we're building a little bit more sophisticated chord voicings now. But what I don't want you to do is jump to these voicings and skip your triad work. So build your house up from the bottom up, good strong roots, and then we'll see where this little chord voicing excursion will take us. All right, we'll talk to you all soon. Take care.